Check 1 2. Just get this thing set up here, folks. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Get into this in a minute or here. A couple more things here. If you caught the live yesterday, hopefully you caught that short. What a beauty. Okay, let's see here. Chicka 1 2. Everybody from the worldwide. Okay, let's get into it here. We're pretty ready. Got some information to share, folks. Let's get into it here. Right? Know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. You can't see me. I gotta open the camera. There you go. Hey, folks. Welcome back to Shirley Sound Studio. My name is Martin. You can call me Marty. Let's turn this light down. There we go. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're doing well. This is my show, so let's go. So yesterday we talked about some of the Canadian economic data. And yes, I understand that the thumbnail was a little bit aggressive, but nobody wants to click on that. Nobody wants to hear the truth, right? Well, we're going to go over some graphs today that I actually meant to go over yesterday, but I forgot to share them. And of course, you know how the algorithm works. It continues to show you whatever you are looking at. And so, of course, yesterday it fed me a bunch more information. I'm not going to go through all of it because ain't nobody got time for that. But again, I do encourage you to do your own research, because when I start to look at stuff like this, the algorithm just starts to feed me that reality. So always do your own research. But this is what it has shown me. And a few things that popped up I thought were quite interesting, just by some of the things that we were looking at yesterday. We got the lemon in the water. Mind is clear. No food for a while. Just, yeah, you gotta fast. Starve the body, feed the mind. It helps you think clear, helps you really understand and see what's going on. The world we live in right now, the whole veil over the eyes, man behind the curtain, all these metaphors. There is some truth to where they come from. So this is the Bitcoin chart. We're going to get into the Bitcoin chart a little bit later here. First thing I want to do is go back to what we were looking at yesterday. Okay, so we looked at... Where's my video? Things are disappearing on me. Ah, my goodness. All right, well, anyways, it was talking about Canada and economic data and how it's artificially being propped up. Immigration is propping up GDP. Without the immigration, we would be in a world of hurt. And so let's just look at this to begin with. See if I can drag this over here. Is this going to work? You see that? Okay. Are we at the beginning here? Okay, so Canada 7, or G7 real GDP per capita comparison, Canada relative to the rest of the G7. So we have Canada is the least performing country out of all of them. Now, this is not good. I mean, Canada's never really been the top, the top contributor, so it's not like a huge big deal. This isn't like the rest of the guys are kind of just like, yeah, Canada, come on, right? Like, this isn't something to totally be worried about. I don't like Canada's always been the little brother that needs to be taken care of by the bigger siblings. It's always been a thing. Is like, well, not always, but like, the last 50, 60 years. We've kind of just been a more relaxed country. We don't really want to export our resources. We don't really want to, hurt the planet, or we're trying to save the trees and save the environment and all that type of stuff. And that all makes sense. To me, living where I live, the land is beautiful here, and I would love it to stay that way. But the way that the world works, unfortunately, is out of my hands. And the hard truth is, if we don't do something about it ourselves, somebody will come and do it for them. Like, they'll just come and take it and do it themselves. So if you're not ready to fight for your land, you better be educated enough to do the bare minimum to make it so that we don't lose it to somebody else that wants to do it. So looking at this growth based on GDP per capita the last 10 years, Canada is barely done anything. And this is including immigration. All the people that we were looking at the charts yesterday, roughly 400,000 people per year since 2021 have moved to Canada, from India, China, Philippines, all over the world. People are moving to Canada because it's beautiful. But the reason why, you're like, well, how did all these people figure it out, right? It's like a lot of people said it was the 2010 Winter Olympic Games that happened in Vancouver, and that was a start, I think, for sure. But what has really done it is, think about it, your phone and the ads that you get on your phone, they cater to the things that you want, the things that you talk about, the things that you are, potentially planning to do, or the life that you want to live. So think about the ads that these people in other parts of the world are getting on their phone. They're getting ads that are actually created by our real estate agents here in Canada, selling Canada to other parts of the world. Now, I know this for a fact because I know multiple real estate agents, and I know multiple real estate agents who actually do this, and they have running ads in other parts of the world. And so ever since Instagram ads, you can really argue that, of course, 2015, 2016, we've had a little bit of a ramp up, but we've seen the yield curve massively explode in the last 5 or 6 years, ever since digital screens, ads, manipulation, however you want to call it, has exploded. So these people are seeing ads about Canada, ads about the country, ads about people living, like the way we live, everything. They're seeing all this stuff, and they're making it their goal to come here. And again, there's nothing wrong with immigration. The world has always been built on immigration. It's not a new thing. People need to move like water. If you stay stuck in one place, then your town dries up. It just happens. Money moves around, so the people have to move around to follow the money, right? Because money is like water, and when money stays stagnant, it just doesn't work you don't want to drink it anymore. You don't want to use it anymore. It doesn't work like it's intended to. It's got to be moving around. So the people have to move around to follow it. So we know in Canada here, we are developing huge. We're building cities. All of the small towns are turning into cities. I used to live in the sticks. Now I live in a city. I haven't moved. Okay. The city has come to me, and this is why, because the real estate agents need to prop up the real estate to maintain the value, right? We need new buyers to maintain the Ponzi. Is basically the only way I can put it. But the problem is that a lot of these people in Canada who are native to Canada are upset about things. They think it's not fair, blah blah this and that. They want to complain. But the truth is that you need to work hard. Like you're fighting against other people that are coming here willing to work 12 to 15-hour days between multiple jobs and live in a house with multiple friends and family just to try and get ahead. And what they're doing is better than where they came from. So those that were born into this Canadian lifestyle are like kind of losing a sense of reality on a global scale, and it's hurting everybody. It's going to hurt a lot more as the less you learn. So you really need to pay attention to what is going on here to position yourself and maintain a good position for the future, because this is inevitable. What's happening is happening. Okay, so merchant trade, we obviously know that the whole trade situation has been a big deal lately, but this is the bar chart breaks down Canada's trade, export, and imports as a share of GDP by key partners, emphasizing its reliance on the U.S. and smaller roles with China and Europe, which ties into overall world economic footprint. So we know that the United States is a big trade partner and always has been. Of course, they're our next door neighbors. It makes a lot of sense for infrastructure to trade with them. We don't have to have, it's quicker. But the thing is that we unfortunately live in a situation still, it's coming to an end, but still the billionaires want to create jobs to keep their money flowing so that they can keep getting more money and keep having excuses for the banks to print more money so that they can get more money. And so it's actually more beneficial for them. It's not beneficial for you. It's more beneficial for them to trade with China, to trade with countries that are further away, because we need to build more ships. We need to build more we have to have more trucking. We have to have more, right? We need more people to do the job. Instead of just trading it over a fence, we have to, that's easy, right? It's straight hand to hand trade. There's nothing in the middle. The unfortunate situation is that we live in a world right now where they want as many hands to touch it as possible, because every hand that touches it is income taxable. Do you see the problem here? So instead of trading, so they're creating a massive, this is all theater. You have to understand this. All this stuff with the United States, it's all theater. They don't want to do easy trade because there's less taxes in between. Think bigger than just your country. Think bigger than just the United States. Think globally and understand about the people, the billionaires, the multi-hundred billionaires, people that have and control all the money. They are the ones that are pulling the strings. They are the ones that are making you think that it's this guy's problem. He's the one that's insane. It's all him. It's not him. Okay? It's much bigger than that. It always has been and it always will be, until us as the people understand really how it works and choose to pull our value away from their system, which is very possible. Okay, we can do this now with technology. We have the power to opt out, so to speak. We are giving them the ability to do this by just going along and believing everything they say. Okay, but the narrative is clear here. They want more of your money, and so Canada is already one of the heaviest taxed places in the world, and so it's not going to get any better. And we talked about this yesterday. The interest payments are greater than what we're making as a country per year. So there's nothing that can save us. There's no balancing this book. It is gone. The old system is gone. They're trying to distract you with as many crazy things as they can. They are creating problems so that they can provide the solution, so that you believe that they still have control over what's happening, and that so you will still go to them and say, "Can I have some more, please, sir?" Like, you don't have to do that. Let's go out and figure it out for ourselves. Okay, we've got to use our heads here, and we have the power. We have to understand that. We can never lose sight that we have the power. Okay. So, next slide. Now this is funny because it's projecting this. This illustrates Canada's GDP per capita from the 1980s to projections of the 2030s, including a return to trend scenario, underscoring its per person contribution to the world economy relative to population growth. So this is what they're going for, and they're importing people to try and maintain this line. Of course, this is the 2020 crash. We bounce back from it, but this does not look good. On a chart perspective, this right here is a high, this is a low, and this is a lower high, and we are now rounding down from that lower high. So if I was trading Canada right now, I'd be looking for a short position on Canada. That is not good if you're a Canadian. That is not good if you have your investments in Canada, right? That means that your investments are likely going to go down in value in comparison to everything else, right? It doesn't really matter whether it's always going to be the same thing, but the way that we view it is in a certain dollar figure, and it's compared to that, right? So that dollar figure moves, which makes things look like they're valued up or down, regardless of what's happening. But you always have to remember that we value things in a comparison. So my house is the same house as it was 2 years ago, but for whatever reason, now it's more expensive. Why is that? Well, because the dollar that we're comparing it to has actually lost value. My house is the same house. It shouldn't cost any more, but it does, because the dollar value is less, okay? So understand this. So what they're doing to try and maintain, to get back on a return to trend scenario, is import more people. Hopefully those people will work more. Hopefully those people will bring more money. So this is the exact same thing that happened with the Romans. This is the exact same thing that's happened with every civilization that's collapsed over the past multi-thousand years, okay? This is nothing new, and we need to pay attention to these charts, because the charts are the truth. We do not care about the news. We do not care about the politicians and their flip-flop this, that bullshit. We want to pay attention to the charts, and it's not about what your country can do for you. It's about what you can do for your country. You should know this by now, okay? That's how the world works. If you're going to be lazy, somebody that wants to work is going to come over and take your job. They took our jobs. South Park told you about this years ago, okay? It's not, because it's nothing new, okay? The things that I've been talking about for years on the tube of you is nothing new. I'm pointing out things that have already happened in history, and I'm pointing out trends and where they are going to lead based on what's happened in the past. Okay, you need to understand your history if you want to have any idea what is going to happen in the future. And if you want to position yourself to be better off in the future, wealthier in the future, then you need to understand where to position yourself. How do you do that? Learn the past. Now, annual number of immigrants arriving in Canada from July 2000. Okay, 250,000, go down a little bit, up around a little bit. Where was the 2010 Olympics? 2010 Olympics was right here. So anybody that thinks that the 2010 Olympics was the catalyst for mass immigration to Canada, the chart would have to disagree with that. To an extent, of course, sure. Okay, we saw this place. It's going to take us a few years to get our stuff together. And then of course, maybe things start, people get their money together, get their plan together. Okay, so there's a little something to that. Of course, it's not going to be like, okay, I want to go here tomorrow and I can do it. A lot of people have to get their shit together before they move. Okay, so it wasn't right away, but it was, a few years after. And then we have a large decline in where people can't travel. But ever since then, massive spike up. And this is because they doubled the money supply. Everything got twice as expensive. Not enough people to feed the machine. Not enough people to buy the houses. Not enough people to keep the markets propped up. We need more people. Boom. Ads, ads, ads. Real estate agents get out there and sell, 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 sell. That's what's happening. That's what we're living through right now. And it's not going to stop, because the yield curve is just going to be continuing higher. And now look at this chart perspective, low, high. If we make a lower low, we're likely to make a higher high, or a higher low, we're likely to make a higher high. Trend, trend, trend. Follow the trend to understand how they work. Now, I think this is probably one of the biggest piss-offs if you're a Canadian. But your prime minister, the guy who y'all elected to lead us into the future, let's see, where'd my other charts go here? Let's see what he's doing. Let's see. Here is Carney's Holdings. Okay, so I'm looking up the prime minister's investments here, where he holds his value. Okay, and so I I think, do I have a chart of all the stuff? Yeah, okay, we'll get to that after. So it doesn't matter what he's holding right now. We're going to look at how he's performing. So he's a central banker, right? We elected a central banker as our prime minister. Big mistake. Big mistake. All the problems of the world were created by world bankers. Central bankers, if you didn't know this, now is time to do your research. Please, for the love of your children's children, do your own research on this subject, on economics, on what's going on in the real world. Don't worry about a fucking hockey game. Don't worry about any game for that matter. Pay attention to reality. Okay, focus on what's real. Stop flipping the stupid fail videos. Stop scrolling the crap. Pay attention to what's going on here, or you will suffer the consequences. Plain and simple. There's a reason why it's so easy to be distracted these days, because there's a bunch of shit happening that they don't want you to know about. If you don't pay attention to it, you're going to get burned. Okay, so this is Mark Carney's holdings. Okay, all whatever, showing his portfolio, globally diversified tilt. We've got the S&P 500 in orange. We've got wind energy, global wind, total return. So if you invested in wind in blue, you're down here. Solar, you're in green, and trust, NASDAQ, green energy, you're down here. And what's Mark Carney been preaching? What's happening in Canada, right? We want to be clean energy. We want to be this, that, this. Well, clean energy is down here, and Mark Carney's holdings are up here. So that doesn't line up. That's a divergence. That means that there's something not being said here, right? Okay, so this is, you got to look at this. And again, this is just recently we've seen this divergence. A lot of things were similar, but now the money printer is going crazy because of the interest payments. And now we're seeing things start to diverge. And this is just the beginning. We were very tight only 4 years ago. Now we are diverging. Look what do you think is going to continue to happen? If nothing changes, this is going to get worse. Now, why is Carney outperforming all the things that he's talking about investing in? Well, let's have a look. Here's his investment portfolio by country. Blue, United States of America. 80 to 97% of his allocation is in United States companies. And they're not in clean energy companies. Now again, do your own research and figure out where he's invested. I looked at the stocks, and I think it was there was 500. Yeah, so 566 to 69 total stocks and ETFs, entities that he's invested his money in, and only 2 to 20% are in Canadian companies. This is the prime minister of your country, and he is not invested in your country. He doesn't even live in your country. His main, I think his residence is in the United States. I don't care about the guy too much. I haven't investigated him that much, but this kind of stuff was pretty easy to find within like 10 or 15 minutes. And it's alarming. This is the guy who's supposed to be like leading your country, and he is not invested in your country. The numbers lie, or the numbers don't lie. People lie, okay? People lie, the numbers don't. When he gets up on the podium and he says that we need to invest in green energy, we need to invest in solar, we need to invest in wind, you know he's not doing that. He is a hypocrite. Look at the numbers. He is lying straight through his teeth to your face. Now, he's going to take your tax dollars and maybe do that, but you just saw that he's not doing that with his money. So wouldn't you want your tax dollars to be invested into something that's going to perform better? If it's a possibility, he already showed us it's a possibility. He's a central banker. He knows where to put his money. His money's up here. What he's talking about putting your money in is down here. Come on, you guys. Time to wake up. You elected a central banker as your prime minister, and he's going to throw you through the ringer inside and out and take all your money and screw you over and get rich in the process. Numbers don't lie. People lie. Do your own research. Figure this out for yourself. Now, one other thing that I thought was quite interesting that I saw yesterday after talking about the video that we watched, was talking about how Canada, Australia, and the UK are all facing the same problem. Basically, the people that are born there are being priced out of the country. Now look what happened, what I saw this morning. Zook is a proposal, if that's how you pronounce it. is a proposed political, economic, and diplomatic alliance between Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. Well, well, well. Isn't that interesting? Designed to facilitate free trade, free movement of citizens, and foreign policy coordination. Aims to create a major global bloc based on shared history, values, and in many cases, a common head of state. What do you think about that? Now, this is not yet formally treated by its active campaign seeking to build new geopolitically entity and compared in some ways one of Ukraine. So this is not yet format. Like, this is just a what's it called? A proposal, right? This is just a proposal. So this isn't happening, but this is a proposal. This is now being brought to the table to be discussed. And if you don't pay attention, now others, and of course, they're going to make it seem like this is a good thing. And it potentially could be a good thing depending on what you're trying to achieve here. But you have to understand what's the real reason that they're doing this. Don't ever listen to the facts that they give you or the reasons that they give you. There's always another narrative that they're pushing that they're not telling you. Now, we just looked at the numbers, and if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, after this video, you can go back and watch, or go to my X. I shared a video. It was an AI video. It was a little bit outside of the box, but it touches on a lot of history and what's basically going on in Canada, UK, and Australia, just as far as everything that we're talking about right now. But I just thought it was interesting. Of course, again, this is the algorithm throwing this towards me because I was talking about it yesterday. So that's why that happened. But do your own research and see what's going to happen in your reality, because apparently this is going to happen in my reality. I didn't even want to make the first video because it sucks and I don't want to see that happen. But we need to address our problems. We can't whine. We can't complain. Nothing is going to happen if we do that. We need to stand up and fix the problem. Let's provide solutions, okay? Let's not whine about problems. Let's provide solutions. By doing that, you're going to have to work hard, and we know that the markets are not going to be doing well. We've already talked about this for years. 2026 is going to be a repricing of many things before the printer gets turned back on again and we shoot back up. But 2026 is your opportunity, just like 2020 was, and just like 2023 kind of was. But I think 2026 is going to be, on a percentage basis, a pretty good chance to probably buy a home, probably get into any sort of asset or investment that you've been looking for a while now. And a lot of people were talking about buying gold and silver last few weeks, and it's like, maybe you want to do that, but maybe you don't, because that's not a good sign when you see gold and silver and stocks all going up at the same time in history. That has led to the dot-com bubble, because I believe that happened in 99, and that happened in 2007. So they have 2008 stock market crash. That is now happening. Housing market crash. So that is now happening. 2026, well, it was happening late 2025 into 2026. So sometime later this year, but we know that things are speeding up because the faster you print, the more money you owe, the higher interest. The hyperinflation yield curve starts slow, and then ramps up quickly. So we know we're at the base somewhere, but things are going to start happening faster and faster. It's just how it works because of the money printing. Things start to erode and devalue faster and faster as the interest goes up. And the interest goes up faster, everything gets worse faster, and then eventually you hit hyperinflation. You don't get a warning. But I mean, aside from what I'm trying to tell you right now and have been trying to tell people for years, we're headed towards hyperinflation. We have been headed towards hyperinflation ever since the interest payments outweighed the amount of money that your country's making per year. That's officially... It officially doesn't work once those numbers cross. Once that chart has the crossing, it's over. That is the beginning of the end. That's when you know that that country is headed for decline. So we now need to change our ways, and we have the ability to do so with technology. This is insane, though. This is insane. Free movement, free trade, foreign policy and defense. So this is also like, basically this is the pilot program to the new world order, or the one world order, I guess, right? Where there is no countries anymore and we all just listen to one centralized entity. That is not something that I think most people would want, especially in the West, especially in a free country, because we have nowhere near the majority of the population over here. So the majority of the population is actually in communist countries. So what do you think it's going to look like if we decide, or somehow we get pushed into doing some sort of conglomerate of countries? And of course, it's going to start slow. 4 countries unite, another couple countries unite. We have the BRICS alliance. We have the G7. Those were numbers. Those were titles that countries were still maintaining their countries, but they're still saying that, hey, we're different countries, but we are alliance, right? So what's that trending towards? You know, if we're talking about digital IDs, or talking about people being NFTs, we're looking at it all trending to a conglomerate. And I don't necessarily think it could be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing. It depends how it's laid out. Okay. You need to position yourself so that you have a choice in how this works, because we know ultimately this is where we're heading. And I think it could be good if we do it properly, but it also could be very bad. Do I have a lot of reverb on my voice? I didn't put my headphones on this morning. Anyways. Yeah. Whoa. Pop the verb up. Okay. Technology can be our savior, or it could be our demise. It's up to our choice. It's our choice. And that technology, I think, is blockchain technology. And a decentralized blockchain would be the best for the people. So let's just have a quick look at Bitcoin. I think we've talked a little about it. Any questions in the chat? Any questions in the chat? Sorry, I forgot about, I keep missing the chat. I'm not paying attention to the chat. I'm too much in my own head, but any questions in the chat? Let's see. No questions in the chat. No one's watching. Perfect. Oh, there is a couple people watching. Wow, neat. I hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully this finds you in actually an unpleasant state, because you should be pissed off about this. This is especially about the whole Carney thing. Like, this is not good. If you're a Canadian, you're being manipulated. Like, the numbers don't lie. You're being screwed. He's taking your tax dollars and putting it in a certain portfolio that is not performing anywhere near as well as his personal portfolio. And it's not performing as well as my personal portfolio, because I know where to put my money. And the unfortunate lies that Canada and the government of Canada and the Liberals have been telling you for the last, I don't know, however, 8 years, whatever it's been, it's not working. The graphs don't lie, okay? Charts don't lie. They're trying to feed you this false sense of, oh yeah, this and that and happy this. No, it's not working. Unemployment is up. People's happiness is down. That was another chart I was looking at. I don't have it right here, and I don't care to find it, but it's because it's devastating. But there was a poll that was published last year about the citizen happiness percentage in Canada, and it I think it was like 10 years ago, it was up around only 4% of Canadians were saying they're unhappy with living standards and all that, and now it's, I can't remember what the number was, but it was like 40 something percent. And like, that's only a movement like that in that short of a time period is very bad. That's a red flag. That's a big red flag. You really have to be paying attention. That's the people that have no education. That's the people that are living on the streets. I mean, do they even talk to those people, though? That's a good question. Who do they even ask those questions? Because nobody asked me. I always wonder that. It's like, where do they get these graphs? Who the hell are they asking? Actually, you know what? I do get those calls from like Chaos Research or K something Research. I do answer them sometimes when I have time, because I know, I'm like, if I answer this, I'm going to be on this call for like half an hour, and I am going to speak my mind. So I have done it a couple times, and they do phone me like a couple times a month, but I'm usually pretty busy. I'm like, damn it, I don't have time for this call right now. But I try to do this on the YouTube so that some people can, we're trying to broaden this knowledge so that we as a collective can hopefully be more successful. Oh, dang. I was looking at shorting again this morning, but I thought we were going to come up and take some more liquidity. That's okay. We're still short. I took quite a bit of profits last night. But we are still holding some of the short. I don't know if you remember yesterday, but we were looking at the chart and it was something like this. And I was saying I shorted this morning and I added to my short here. And I closed my longs. And well, what happened? Hours later, whammy. Dang. See, that's how you have a good day. Bull markets are great, but bear markets are like, you got to learn how to short, folks. That's the thing about investing. Like, if you don't understand how to trade and you're just investing, especially if you're investing with like a bank, you have no ability to short when you're investing with a bank. All you can do is buy and hold and continue to contribute, which is fine. DCA, it's over the long period, it's best performing. But if you can learn how to trade, like, I can't even tell you. This was a Sunday. I was actually working in the studio. Actually had a busy day. We did the stream, then I went and watched. My daughter had a dance show. Went and watched that. Came back and then worked in the studio for 6 or 7 hours. And so of course you're working, getting paid, and then the money that you've put in these certain positions is just printing you more money. Bear markets are where you print, folks. Like, because this happens quick. Bear markets, you get done. Like, bull markets are like this, slow grinds, and then bear markets are like this, whammy. And this is probably about to go take out this low, because let's see, we got some liquidity down here, and not a lot of people coming in yet. We have the original shorters are still in, and not a lot of positions closed out, it looks like. So potentially go get that liquidity at some point here. But I'm telling you, we were talking about it yesterday. Bitcoin sub 50K on the table, and I thought it was going to take a little bit longer, but man, these drops are coming in hot, dropping it like it's hot. Old Snoop Dogg, drop it like it's hot. Now, who knows what's going to happen? Nice little bounce here from the value area low. Look at that green line. See, we have support, and we got support again. That's just, that's nice technical analysis right there. So like, if we do see a bounce from here and we hold it, likely come up to the POC, in which case I'm probably going to look for a short and a lower low here and a continuation of the trend, because we know on the higher time frames that money is flowing out. People are having less money to invest. So this type of asset is a extra money type investment. You have to have all your other bills paid first before you have any time or money to put into Bitcoin or anything else like that. So there's a good chance there with the raise of interest rates, with the amount of liquidity that needs to be refinanced, the amount of debt that needs to be refinanced this year because of how many people refinanced in 2020, 2021, when interest rates were low, all being refinanced now. There's not a lot of extra money on the table, and so this is why we were talking about taking profits last year, all of summer and fall and winter. Hey guys, take profits. It was a little bit late by the time winter came, but I was on here screaming take profits. If you have been in crypto or Bitcoin for over 3 years, then your July, August, September, October, and November were your profit taking times. And now it's time to rebalance. It's time to shake out the people that can't afford to be here, unfortunately, because that's how it works. The elite have been doing this with all assets for ages. You get priced out of houses. First of all, remember back in the day, in the 1800s, you could buy massive chunks of land for hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars if we're talking big, like, and people could do that. You could go buy a farm, you could go work for a few years and you could go buy a farm. It was a very popular thing to do in the late 1800s. And then people got priced out and only the big guys could do that. And then, okay, well, maybe start a business. And in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, people started businesses, they thrived. And now we're seeing small businesses are going on 2020 crushed a lot of small businesses, and now we're seeing barely any small businesses these days. You have to be a big guy, you have to be a big player, big guy, right? You have to be a big guy to play and have your own business, corporations, that kind of stuff, right? And we're seeing the government help with this, which is brutal, because they're taxing the middle class more and they're giving more tax cuts to the rich, right? So you have to understand, this has been going on for a long time. This is no conspiracy. This is not crazy people talking here. You need to listen to what's going on, and again, do your own research and just pay attention to we're losing the value or low. Oh my god. Oh. Shorts are printing, baby. Shorts are printing. Works for me. Go up or down, I don't care. I'm a trader. Investors are good long term, but I was an investor for a long time, and then when the markets dumped, I was like, damn it! I lost it all! Oh! But the funniest thing is you don't lose it all. Always remember, like, you only lose it if you sell it. If it goes down in the aspect of a dollar value, then you still have the asset that you have, right? It doesn't matter about the value. And this is the thing that I always say to people. It's like, Bitcoin will never go to $1 million. Sorry. If you don't understand what I mean by that, then you need to learn more. Bitcoin will never go to $1 million because by the time Bitcoin is that integrated into everything, and there's that much market cap, we're not going to be valuing things in dollars anymore. Okay, you're going to already be saying it's this many sats, which is a Satoshi, which is a eighth decimal place of a Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is fractional, and down to the eighth decimal zero. The eighth zero after the decimal is 1 Satoshi. So you will be able to be like, oh, well, 50 Satoshis, 60 Satoshis, 100 Satoshis. Like once Bitcoin hits $10 million, then Satoshi will be $1, I do believe. Double check my math on that. I haven't checked it for a while, but I believe it's something along the lines of that. And we're long? Are we long? Are we gonna long here? No, we're not gonna long that. I'm not longing that. I was trying to long this last night, and I had my position right here, and I'm like, okay, this looks good, but never got filled. And then I tried to long again here. I slid it up, but never got filled. And I was like, oh, god damn it, whatever. No big deal. I would have been taking profits pretty quickly anyways because we knew that this has happened. Continuation of the trend. This is a smaller time frame. We're on a 5-minute time frame here. When you zoom out, we see that we're rolling over and we're continuing the trend to the downside. And this is why you don't long in a downtrend. Down she goes. I don't know, not financial advice, right? Nothing I do or say should be taken as financial advice. You should always do your own research and make sure that you talk to a registered financial advisor before making any large movements with your capital. But honestly, you don't need to do that. You should just do your own research and use the internet because that's all they're going to do too. So do it for yourself. Cut out the middleman. Learn for yourself. Anytime you're doing anything, try and learn it for yourself, because not only are you potentially going to get that job done, you're going to learn new skills. And maybe you had to buy a new tool or something like that to get that job done. Well, now you have that tool. Instead of paying that guy to use his tools, you now have that tool for the next time you want to do something like that. You learn how to use it, you learn how to do the job, and if it happens again, you can fix it again, right? And you have YouTube and unlimited amounts of information from learning. You just have to stay disciplined, stay focused, and do it. And I know you can do it. I know you can do it. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. You always should. Never doubt yourself. If you get upset, just take a deep breath, take a step back, go for a little walk, have a little bounce on the trampoline. Look up into the sky. Remember how small you are in this universe, and don't let things like that get you upset, because it's an absolute privilege that you are here. It's a miracle. 1 in a trillion chance that you made it here. So if you're upset, you just need to learn more, because depression is literally only, well, I mean, maybe it's chemical, but I would say it's lack of knowledge. Because as soon as you understand how the world works around you and how you can benefit from it, there's no reason to be depressed, because everything starts going your way, baby. And also manifestation, right? We live in an algorithmic digital society. What's the difference between algorithm and manifestation, right? You talk about it, you do it, you surround yourself with it, you become more of it, you learn of, right? So the world, we're learning more and more each day that the world that we live in is very potentially a simulation, and a manifestation is algorithmic, right? So if you surround yourself with, let's say 5 people who smoke pot, you'll be the 6th, right? That's what they say. But if you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th. So there you go, right? Whether it is or it isn't, we can look at it in that way. And with that perspective and with that attitude and energy, you can make your life beyond your wildest dreams. And the cool thing is that once you see it work once, you start to really dig in and believe, and then it gets better and better and better, and it just starts snowballing. And then you have everything you ever wanted. And then you have to come up with new dreams that are bigger, because you're like, well, shit. All the things that I came up with when I was a kid, I've achieved. Well, now what? Okay, well, how about this? And how about this? And I know more now. I know other things that I can do, other places I can go. This world is amazing, man. Heaven and hell, Black Sabbath, like, Literally, that is where we live, heaven and hell. For those who want it to be, we are in heaven. For those who don't understand and let it happen, you live in hell, a living hell. It's up to you. You are the decider. You manifest. You are the player. Ready, Player One? You are the player. Do what you want to do. Learn what you want to learn. Focus on your goals. Stay disciplined. Don't let petty problems get in the way of your bigger goals. Right, folks? Now, what's Canada going to do? What are we going to do? Next few months are going to be pretty big. Next few years are going to be even bigger. Time to pay attention. I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, have a good day. And get out there and manifest your destiny, folks. Make it a reality. You can do it. Lemon water. Research fasting. Make sure you take care of your body. Your avatar, right? Your brain is the way that you can connect to this avatar that you get to have. Take care of your avatar. Work it out. Have fun. I love you. I'll see you on the next one. Like and subscribe. All that fun stuff. Turn the notification bells on so that you don't miss any one of these amazing informational videos that I put here on the YouTube. All right, I'm gonna go mix some music. We got some Electric Jester coming out here pretty soon. It's pretty crazy stuff. Actually, the session that we did yesterday was a nice little game changer. I actually feel like I got to step up some of my parts now because we got some pretty good musicians stepping in the stew lately. So yeah, do the subscribe thing, do the like thing, follow on the Instagram page for more common updates. But YouTube is gonna be where you get the sauce. YouTube is gonna be where you're gonna get the information that you can use to change your direction if it's needed. And yeah, reach out to me if you need to. Drop a comment. I'm happy to help people. I'm here to spread my knowledge and try and make the world a better place for my offspring and their offspring, because we have the technology, we have the means. I know we can do it. We just need to focus and stay disciplined. So let's do it, folks. Have a fantastic day. Was there any music playing that whole time? Bum, 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 bum. Sorry, I don't like to wear the headphones when I'm doing this. I just like to wing it. So if the sound is ever off or whatever, just hop in the comments and let me know, because I'm just rambling, really. Rambling, talking to myself or talking into my kids. Hopefully maybe one day they'll watch this. Hopefully they don't have to watch this because they can talk to me. But, ultimately the reason that I do this is that if anything does happen to me, they can come back and look on the internet and be like, oh, okay, good. Because right now I try to tell them this stuff and they're kids. They don't care. They just want to do fun stuff. And I understand that. But eventually, one day, they're going to be like, oh, Dad, what was that thing you were talking about? And I'll be like, okay. Finally. But just in case. And of course, for everybody else that wants to hang out and learn some information, macroeconomics and data and stuff like that, technology, come on, join on in. Let's have fun doing it, because I do believe that we are in for a greater future if you choose. There is going to be some sort of division, unfortunately. We've talked about it on Your Future Hand years ago. 100 years ago, we saw the Great Depression. We're now going to see the Great Division. And the people who learn about what's happening and position themselves properly will be on the top, and the other people will be on the bottom, unfortunately. I don't want that to happen. I'm here to try and make sure everybody gets the level playing field. Financial equality is really what we need, and education is how that happens. So it's up to you. Only you can prevent poverty for yourself. All right? Peace, folks. Love you. Wah! I recommend putting your opinions aside and how to think.